everybody, and today what we're going to be looking at is every NFL team's representation at Wrestlemania. Now, Wrestlemania is the biggest show of the year in the sports entertainment world, while the NFL Super Bowl is probably the biggest sports event, at least within the United States. Now, if you blend them, you have a few appearances by big NFL stars at the Showcase of the Immortals. Now, not every single team has made an appearance at the show, so I didn't bother including them in this slide deck that I'm going to be presenting to you today. All the teams that did have a slide, including the team, every player, what they did, and which manias they appeared at, and I'll explain as we go along. First up, we have the Chicago Bears. They had Jim Covert, William Perry, and Stephen Michael appearing at WrestleManias 2, 11, and 22, and at those WrestleManias, they variously did Battle Royals, being a manager, or being an inductee into the Hall of Fame. That was 22. So this is just a nice little group of people. Obviously, most of you probably know William Perry out of the bunch, but the other two were decent in their time as well, and you might know them if you are specifically a Bears fan. If so, good luck with Caleb, not against the Lions. Anyways, next up we have the Dallas Cowboys featuring Ed Jones, Harvey Martin, and Ken Norton Jr. Now, I would like to reiterate at this point that every team's representation here is based on a Wikipedia article listing all their appearances and a few select choices that I added because they weren't on the Wikipedia article, such as commentator Pat McAfee, but we'll get to him in good time. So, whatever team they are assigned to here is what they were listed as on Wikipedia, which I am assuming is the team they were either last with, if they retired, or if they were with at the time of the show, varying on when the show took place. But these three even, appeared at WrestleManias 2 and 11 as a referee, Battle Royal participant, and manager. Next up, we have the teams with just two people, including the Falcons with Bill Frolic and Goldberg. Goldberg. Pyro, bam, Goldberg. So most of you probably know Goldberg from his appearances at 20, 33, and 36. Obviously, we all know those. However, Bill Frolic was a Battle Royal participant at WrestleMania 2, just a backup lineman for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't really care how you say it because they're one of my least favorite teams. The Falcons. If you get what I mean, catch my drift. Anyways, again, most of you probably know Goldberg, but Bill Frolic does exist for the Atlanta Falcons. Next up, we have the New York Giants featuring Carl Banks and WrestleMania main eventer Lawrence Taylor at WrestleManias 2, 7, and 11. They acted as referees, managers, and wrestlers as Carl appeared at multiple different shows. Now, I would like to also say that people who appeared on practice squads like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are not going to be appearing on this list as they never played in a regular season or playoff game for their respective teams, which disqualifies them from appearing on this list. If you want me to add that in future, I'll do that if this video does well, but for now, it's just their regular season appearances. So this is the New York Giants. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers featuring Russ Francis and George Kittle. Now, this is probably the biggest gap between two manias that a player appeared at, with manias 2 and 39 all the way in 2023 and all the way back in 1985 as both a Battle Royal participant and helping Pat McAfee is basically what George Kittle did. If you remember, he had a match against The Miz, threw The Miz outside the ring, Kittle came in, gave him a shoulder block, threw him inside the ring, and Pat won the match. Again, we will get to Pat in a minute. However, these are the only two 49ers players to ever make an appearance, unless you count that Cowboys guy from earlier, Ken Norton Jr. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles with Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson from WrestleMania 40. This is the most recent NFL player appearances from the Showcase of the Immortals, and they, yet again, just like Kittle from before, helped Andrade and Rey Mysterio get a win over the LDF. Now, this is probably the most well-known one in the public eye, other than maybe Lawrence Taylor, because of how big it was in Bleacher Report, just the news as general, and because Jason had just retired and gave Philly something to be like, oh, yay, one of our favorite guys, woohoo. They came out in luchador masks as well. So, pretty fun for fans of Philly. Next up, we have the Colts. Pat McAfee, again, I said I was going to get to him in the future. He was at 38, 39, and 40 as a wrestler at 38 and 39, and solely as a commentator at Mania 40. So he has done the most out of the one team appearance group. That's why he's at the top here. And then as we go down the teams with just one player, we're going to be going through the least amount of appearances and just stuff they did. And then once they're basically equal, I just rank them randomly, other than having my favorite team on top. Next up, we have Rob Gronkowski, who is representing the Bucks here, but there is a Patriots player down a little bit further on because that's what he was listed as on Wikipedia. Again, applying to that last team they played for is who they represent role, appearing at Manias 33 and 36 with helping Mojo Rawley and hosting Mania 36 inside the Performance Center. Now, Mojo Rawley was also at WrestleMania 36, so you could say that Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley are automatically connected whenever it comes to Mania, but who really knows? He got into an argument with Jinder Mahal at WrestleMania 33, which is how he helped Mojo win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Next up, we have the Patriots with Marcus Corvan. This is one of the interesting pieces on here, one of the only just wrestlers who also happen to play in the NFL. And he was on their main team. He was there for about 1 year. He had played with a different team a few years before that. I don't exactly remember what team that was. However, he transitioned to wrestling for ECW and was able to pop in at Mania 23 in a multi-man tag. So this is one of the few wrestler appearances on the list as somebody you might know solely from their wrestling career. Next up, we're going on to the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? Who dat? Who dat Saints gonna beat them Saints? This is my favorite NFL team if you saw my NFL Power Rankings video like a year and a half ago. But again, my favorite NFL team. But Ricky Jackson is our only appearance at the Showcase of the Immortals at Mania 11 as a manager for Lawrence Taylor. Hopefully we're able to do well this season. I'm just going to say that out of the blue. I know this isn't really what I'm talking about. I just want to say good luck, Saints. Had a pretty decent draft. But speaking of really good drafts, Ricky Jackson, amazing draft pick and amazing Mania appearance. Next up, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills with Paul McGuire at Mania 7, who was part of a skit, according to Wikipedia. I'm not going to go back and watch that because I don't care that much about hunting down this random dude from a WrestleMania like 30 years ago. But he seems like a pretty chill dude from what I saw online. Then we have Detroit Lions and Chris Spielman, yet again, Mania 11 as a manager for LT. That's what a lot of these ones are at this point. And he was just there to be like, hey, what's up? As Bam Bam Bigelow faced off with Lawrence Taylor in the NFL WWE Clash and brawled on the outside with the other WWE stars intermittently. I did watch that match. If you want to go back and see my video reviewing it, it's a few months ago on the channel. Next up, we have the Packers with Reggie White, one of the more well-known appearances at Mania 11 before he really sprung into being an insanely popular star, but yet again, just a manager here managing LT in that WrestleMania 11 main event. So, Minister of Defense, rest in peace, but you didn't have that much of an interesting appearance at that bad of a WrestleMania. Then we have the Steelers and Ernie Holmes at Mania 2. He was in the WWE versus NFL Battle Royal, which is the first time that the WWE and NFL really had any major clash, the second one at WrestleMania 11, but otherwise we haven't really seen any real WWE NFL violence yet. You could argue that with Pat McAfee, but I would love to see that at something like WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. And then we have nothing else. This is actually the last person on the list. We've gone through every single team that has made an appearance, so I'll run through them very quickly. The Steelers, the Packers, the Lions, the Bills, the Saints, the Patriots, the Bucks, the Colts, the Eagles, the Niners, the Giants, the Falcons, Cowboys, and the Bears. So what do you think? Did your favorite NFL team make an appearance at the Showcase of the Immortals? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, go whatever. Make sure to watch any former or future episodes of my channel, and goodbye.